What's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Michelle. If you're new, if you're old, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I get a flawless foundation finish, or does that even sound right? A flawless foundation finish? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Michelle. If you're new, if you're old, welcome. In today's video, I am doing a flawless foundation routine. A lot of people ask me how I get like really smooth looking skin when I apply my foundation, and I'm going to show you guys the tips and the tricks that I do. Also how to achieve not getting flashback. Like, I'm just going to give y'all some tips and tricks. So this is going to be a tips and tricks video for a flawless foundation finish. So without further ado, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And let's just get right into this video. So first thing is first, I've already washed my face. You're gonna actually go in with a really rich moisturizer. It doesn't matter if you're dry, it doesn't matter if you get oily, you really need to moisturize your skin in order to achieve a flawless foundation. So I'm gonna take the, I live by this stuff. This is the Origins This is a Perfect World SPF Origins moisturizer, y'all. I love this moisturizer. It feels really good on the skin. I have combination skin, so sometimes my skin can get like dry and stuff in certain patches, and then other times it gets really oily, especially in my T-zone area. So I'm gonna use some of this facial moisturizer, and I'm just gonna put this all over my face. Then on my eyelids, because I notice when I don't do this, I get dry patches on my eyelids. So you want to make sure that you're working your moisturizer all on your face. All right, now that that is nice and worked into your skin, I'm gonna do my brows. I'm gonna do my brows off camera. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I am done with my eyebrows. I like this one better than this one. I think I went like a little bit too heavy on this side. All right, y'all, so the next step in creating a flawless base application, I'm gonna go in with this eyebrow razor. You can get these at Target, Walmart, Sally's. You can get them a lot of places. And the beauty supply, y'all. I use this, and I'll go in a downward motion on my skin. I'm gonna kind of tug my skin up while I'm shaving my face downward. And this is just gonna get rid of any peach fuzz that I might have on my face. The mustache, because you can't, you know, makeup, y'all, shows everything. So go ahead and shave that little mustache. I'm gonna go in with a color corrector. I always use a color corrector just because I have like a few imperfections and stuff on my face, and I want to actually hide those. You have to put things underneath your makeup in order to achieve a very flawless makeup application. This is the Pro Conceal LA Girl in orange, y'all. They used to hype this stuff up like years ago with the concealers, but I just been using the orange corrector. You don't really need much. If you don't have a orange color corrector, you can use a red lipstick, and it does the same thing. It hides like your dark circles and whatnot. So that is a tip. Use that color corrector that I showed you guys, or if you don't have a red color corrector, you can use a red lipstick, and you don't need much because it still can seep through your foundation, and you'll kind of look like a little orange or red. So like I said, you don't really need much product of this color corrector, or if you guys decide to use a red lipstick. So then I'm gonna go in with just a brush, and I'm just gonna blend that color corrector out, just so there aren't any harsh lines. And alright, y'all, so next up we are going in with a primer. I'm gonna use the Shine Control Primer. Now when you prime your face, I personally don't put this all over my face. I just put this in the areas that I do get oily, because I feel like this particular brand, when I use it, it makes my face dry. I've noticed, because it is a shine control primer, so it's trying to like fight oils. I wouldn't recommend putting this primer all over my face. I would just put it in the areas where I do get oily at. So the areas I do get oily at, are, I'm gonna take like a little foundation brush. So my nose area, I get very oily, so I'm gonna put that primer like around my nose area. And then on the temples, on the side of my face over here, I get like really oily as well. And kind of underneath my, or around my mouth area, I get very oily. And on my other side of my temples, I get oily like in this area. All right, y'all, so the foundation that I'm gonna go in with is the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation, y'all. I love this foundation. This is the only foundation that I use. I used to go back and forth with drugstore makeup or foundation, but I don't really use drugstore makeup, especially since I found this. It's pretty reasonable price. It's not cheap and it's not expensive. It's kind of like that in between, and I really, really like that. I am in the shade Tahoe, so we're gonna put this on a, where's my brushes at? All right, you guys, so I can't find one of my brushes, but the one that I'm gonna show you guys is dirty, but you guys will get the gist. So this is the brush that I usually use always to apply my foundation. This is the Real Techniques Insta Pop face brush, y'all. This spreads out the makeup like insane, like, and it gives you like a nice airbrushed kind of look. But like I said, this brush is dirty and I don't want to apply this to the foundation I'm gonna put on my face. So I'm gonna use my second best face brush, and this is by Real Techniques. This is their Expert Face Brush, and it's like really dense. So another tip for when you're applying foundation, some people use the Real Techniques sponges, or they'll use beauty blenders, but I personally found out by using a I personally found out by using a beauty blender that once you have a wet sponge and you're applying it with your foundation, it doesn't really give you a full coverage finish. Just because, you know, the sponge absorbs, just because the sponge absorbs like a lot of product. So I veered away from using a sponge and I ended up just applying my foundation with a brush. It just gives you a more even application, and I feel like you don't have to use as much product when you are using a brush. So like I said, I'm gonna go in with this Natural Radiant foundation. I'll probably do about 2 pumps and then see kind of how it goes from there. So I'm just going to do like a couple dots around my face area. I definitely have to wet my, make sure you wet your brush when you do this. You see how much the product like distributes on your face? And I'm just stippling. I'm not gonna swipe because I feel like when I swipe, I'm going to wipe the product off. So you're just going to dab your product on your face. And I won't really put a lot of this foundation under my eye just because I'm gonna be putting concealer underneath there, and I feel like less product is more when you're trying to achieve a nice full coverage foundation. I think when you put too much product on top of product, it starts to look really, really cakey. So I try to avoid my under eye area, well, like right under this area where I'm gonna be applying my concealer, just because I don't want it to be like cakey looking, you know? This is after one application. I don't really like to put a lot of foundation on my forehead as well, just because I just contour that area. So I kind of veer away from putting a whole bunch of foundation on my forehead. I'll use whatever is left over though on the brush, and I'll just kind of, you know, put that on my forehead. But for the most part, I just kind of contour that area, so I don't really put a lot of product on my forehead. All right, so I'm going in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer, and then Also, I'm going in with the NARS Natural Radiant Creamy Concealer. Now, I like to use 2 concealers, and this is the reason why. I feel like when you take flash photography, because I'm big with taking photos and I like to use flash. You guys ever notice when people take flash and then their under eye is like super bright? That's because the concealer that they use is like way too light for them, and a lot of people think, oh, concealer, it needs to be almost like as white as paper in order for me to get that like airbrushed like look, you know, but that's not the case. I'll go in with a darker concealer, a concealer that is almost close to my foundation shade. So I'm gonna go in with this darker concealer shade first. And I just conceal under my eye area. And then I'll go in with that lighter concealer and I'll put that on top of that. So now that I applied my 2 concealers, I'm just gonna let that sit on my face just for a couple minutes, just so that it can warm up to my skin and it gives me a more fuller coverage for my under eyes. I'm gonna work on my contour, so let's just hop right into that. So for contour, I'm going to go in with this cream foundation stick. I always do cream contour, whether it's summer or winter. Well, summertime, I try to kind of stay away from cream contour just because I get oily, and the more oils that you have on your face, the oily you'll get. So I will go in with this cream contour. Ooh. This is actually a foundation stick, but I use it as a contour. So now I'm not gonna go directly in with this contour stick. I feel like it gives you a harsh look when you do that. I'm gonna take my angled brush and I just go over the top. Now I have my product on my brush, and I'm gonna start at the highest points of my cheeks. So usually the top of your ear, you're gonna follow the top of your ear, and that's kind of gonna be your guideline to where you contour at. And I'm actually going to angle my brush upward like this, and I'm going to push the product up, or stipple the product up. This will give more of a softer contour. I'm just like tapping that, and I'm not bringing it all the way down. This is what it should look like. And then I'm gonna do down here as well, because you can't contour here without contouring down on your neck area. It just looks kind of weird. So I'm gonna go in, same product, and just contour my cheek out. All right, now that that is in place, I'm actually going to set it. You need to set all your cream contours just because it can just slide right off your face, especially again if you're oily. The Prime Beauty, this is a bronzer, and this in the shade Glow Coast. You only need a little bit of this because it's very, very pigmented. So I'm just gonna do like one little dab or so, and then I'm gonna tap the excess off, and I'm just going to go in where I put that cream contour at. Oh shoot, I just fucked up. I need to blend my under eyes out. So let me wash a beauty blender and then I will come back. I'm gonna go in with this damp beauty blender, but before I actually blend my under eye out, have you noticed when you use your beauty blender and you go in and it picks up the product and it doesn't give you like that full airbrushed finish? It just, I don't know if it makes sense. Like you'll go in and dab with just a damp beauty blender on top of your concealer and it just picks up the product. Remember I told y'all how the beauty blender acts like a sponge, so it like just absorbs everything? So this is another trick how I get flawless under eye. I'm gonna take those two concealers that I used underneath my eye and I'm actually gonna put those on the back of my hand. And then I'm gonna use my damp beauty blender and I'm gonna go in with the damp sponge on the back of my hand and just picking up that product that I put on my hand. And then I'm gonna go in and blend my under eye out. This eliminates when you go in with your damp beauty blender and it doesn't pick up any of the product because you already have your concealer that is under your eye. You have it on the back of your hand. So it's just a nice little trick because I noticed as well when I go in with a beauty blender, before I had started doing this, it will pick the product up and then I wouldn't have a flawless under eye. Also, I'm just gonna keep the product like right underneath my eye. I'm not gonna pull it all the way back here just because I'm just trying to just because I'm only trying to conceal this under eye area. You don't need to bring it all the way back here. And then two, I'm gonna contour. So it just doesn't make any sense to bring the product all the way up to your ears. I'm gonna go back in with the leftover product that I have on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna do the same to this side. I'm gonna blend my under eye out. You guys see how airbrushed I look? Like, y'all, these tips and tricks are going to be helpful for y'all. I need to hurry up and set my under eye. I'm gonna go in with the Translucent Honey by Laura Mercier. This is a darker shade of the regular translucent. Again, I'm just going to make sure I don't have any creases or lines in the areas where I placed that concealer at. Then I'm gonna go in with my same sponge, blow that excess powder off, and then I'm just going to press into my skin. I don't bake just because that gives harsh flashback. I'm gonna just press that powder into my skin until it disappears. I noticed that when you bake, it leaves like a really harsh like flashback. So I just will blend this out until the powder is like non-existent. Go back in with my contour brush and I'm going to use this bronzer that I was using earlier and I'm going to bronze my skin just so that way I don't look washed out, because I look very washed out right now. This side looks very, very harsh for some reason. I'm gonna go in with that foundation brush and I'm just going to kind of like lighten, not really lighten, but you know, just so that it doesn't look super harsh. I'm gonna go over the contour. And then I'm gonna contour everywhere where I applied that cream contour at. And you only need a little bit of this stuff because I feel like it's very pigmented and it definitely goes a long way, so yeah. And this is what I'm telling you guys when you don't need foundation on your forehead, because you're just gonna darken this area because you know you're contouring it, so you don't really need product on your forehead. I mean, you don't really need foundation on your forehead. So I'm just gonna contour. Same situation, Laura Mercier translucent. I'm gonna tap some of that excess off, and then I'm just going to go in and just tap my face. I'm just going to contour my nose just to give my nose like a little bit of dimension. Go in with my MAC Fix Plus, y'all, and then I'm gonna spray my face. Where's my little? So I use a fan. Sometimes I won't. It just depends on how I'm feeling. It's going to eliminate any excess powder that you might have on your face. So that is why I'm going in with this Fix Plus. It doesn't have to be Fix Plus y'all going with. You can go in with any type of setting spray. And I'm just gonna spray a lot until your face is like almost like wet. And then I'm gonna go in with my fan, and I'm just gonna fan my brush for a couple seconds. But then to make sure everything is like set in, I'm gonna go in with the butt of my beauty blender, and I'm just going to press that into my skin just to make sure that setting powder is doing what it needs to do. This is what the skin looks like, very natural, radiant, looks very smooth. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup off camera, and I will show you guys the finished product. You guys, this is what the foundation looks like. I'm a little oily right now, just because we just came back from dinner. I just forgot that I had to show you guys what my finished look looked like. I didn't put any lashes on because I didn't have time. So, but like I said, this is what my skin looks like. I'm actually going to insert photos as well so you guys can actually see pictures being taken with flash photography and how I don't have like that harsh flashback. But yes, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.